happened when you finally stood up to your toxic family? I had just woken up from my emergency C-section when I learned that my sister changed the baby's name while I was unconscious. What stung most is I couldn't even do anything. She was the real mother, as she called it, while I was just the surrogate. But she promised to name the baby after me to honor my sacrifice. I died during childbirth and had to be resuscitated before the C-section. And even prior to that, I'd had enough complications to where my body was damaged for life. Still, I was happy to give my sister the child she wanted. After 3 days of no visits, I got discharged. And the first thing I did was text if the baby was okay and could I still be the godmother. It was the only thing I wanted. Of course, this will make it official when you come over, but not this weekend, maybe next. For 6 weeks, I begged to see baby Kyle. Finally, my sister Mia texted, "Come to Mom's for Sunday dinner. We'll do the godmother ceremony then, 3 p.m. I spent my last $50 on a silver rattle and practiced my godmother speech in the mirror. Sunday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., too excited to sleep any longer, and spent 3 hours getting ready despite the pain shooting through my abdomen with every movement. I curled my hair for the first time since before the pregnancy and put on the only dress that fit over my still swollen belly. Driving over, I called Mom to ask what dessert to bring since I'd already bought ingredients for her favorite lemon bars, but her number was disconnected. Strange, but maybe she forgot to pay the bill again. I tried Mia next and got an automated message that I'd been blocked. My chest tightened as I pulled over on the highway shoulder, cars whizzing past while I called Dad, then my cousins, then Aunt Carol. Every single number either blocked or disconnected, like I'd been surgically removed from the family tree. When I got to Mom's house, her prized rose bushes were already browning from 2 weeks without water. Through the mail slot, I could see furniture draped in white sheets like. I drove to Mia's apartment. There, I found a young couple touring it with the landlord who recognized me from previous visits. "Oh, are you Helen? Mia left something for you," he said, handing me an envelope with my name in Mia's handwriting. Inside was a check for $5,000 and a note. "For the medical bills. This makes us even. Please don't contact us." The check bounced 3 days later, and through a fake Instagram, I discovered they'd moved to Seattle where Kyle had already been christened with Mom holding him, and some stranger labeled as his godmother. I looked at my scar in the mirror that night, a permanent reminder of how my family ruined my life. 8 months later, after I'd accepted that my family had used me as a free incubator, an insurance investigator called. You see, after I gave birth, I was billed $547,000, but I had insurance. The insurance did what they do best and started looking for any excuse not to pay it. They opened an investigation, and this call was the fruits of that investigation. "We found something interesting in our review," the woman said. "Your sister had genetic testing done 6 months before the pregnancy showing positive for factor V Leiden, but she marked no family history on the fertility clinic forms." My legs gave out. I told her I was unaware of any family medical history. That's when her voice turned serious. "This is fraud. We're going after the full amount." I started making calls to doctors immediately. I managed to get tests in, and that's how I found it. I had factor V Leiden, a blood clotting disorder that makes giving birth basically a death sentence. The investigator's words rung in my ear. I instantly realized Mia had known I would likely die during childbirth, but she didn't care. She just wanted her baby. I called the insurance company back, and they informed me that it was still fraud, but they would be directing their attention to Mia. Well, so was I. A lawyer took my case pro bono. We filed civil suits and criminal charges. The insurance company went after her for $547,000, while I went after her for attempted murder. And Mia's perfect Seattle life started crumbling faster than she could post inspirational quotes about motherhood. Child services moved fast and found Mia's boyfriend dealing drugs out of their Seattle apartment. The photos they sent me during the emergency removal showed Kyle at 11 months old in a filthy onesie, with empty bottles scattered around a bare mattress on the floor, and the $2,000 stroller I'd bought them being used to store drug money. Mia called me for the first time since she disappeared, sobbing so hard she could barely speak. "Please don't do this. He's my son," I hung up on her mid-sentence. 4 months of paperwork followed, and finally, the call came that I could pick Kyle up. I flew to Seattle with an empty car seat and a heart so full it hurt. When the social worker brought him out, Kyle was screaming for his mama and thrashing in her arms. This beautiful boy I'd felt kick inside me for months but had never held. He didn't recognize me at all, just another stranger in a long line of strangers. But I was determined to make him my own, and for 7 years I did. I fed him, cleaned him, played peekaboo. Mia was paying me back the $350,000 the court determined she owed me. But then one Thursday afternoon, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Kyle standing there with his backpack, tears streaming down his face as he clutched printed photos. "Why did you lie to me?" he asked. I froze because he should have been at school. "Open. The lady at the fence told me you stole me from my real mom." I stared at him, not knowing what to say, but knowing that my sister was back. Full story on channel linked below.